You refrigerate milk because you assume the danger begins after you open the carton. But according to FDA inspection reports and USDA dairy safety guidance, milk quality problems can begin long before a carton reaches a consumer's refrigerator. Long before the first pour. Some of the most recognizable milk brands in America now move through supply chains so large and consolidated that the people packaging the product may never see the farms producing it. And in some cases, the companies marketing farm-fresh dairy are owned by multinational corporations operating at industrial scale. The carton still shows green fields and happy cows. The ownership structure tells a very different story. Today, we are giving you both sides. Welcome to the brand truth. Most consumers think milk quality is decided at the farm. In reality, much of it is decided in boardrooms and transportation contracts, processing facilities, and distribution timelines. The modern dairy industry has undergone massive consolidation over the past 2 decades. According to USDA market data, a shrinking number of large processors now control significant portions of the American milk supply. That matters because consolidation changes incentives. When companies answer to shareholders first, shelf life and transport efficiency can begin outweighing freshness and regional consistency. There is also a regulatory gap many shoppers never realize exists. Federal labeling rules allow broad marketing terms like farm fresh and natural without requiring detailed sourcing disclosure. Organic certification standards exist, but enforcement and interpretation vary dramatically depending on herd size and grazing practices. A milk carton can legally project a small family farm image while sourcing from industrial-scale operations spanning thousands of animals. None of this automatically means the milk is unsafe. The FDA considers pasteurized milk safe, but you are often buying a story first. Number 5 is Great Value Milk, Walmart's private label dairy operation backed by the largest retailer on earth. Walmart generated more than $600 billion in annual revenue, giving it extraordinary leverage over suppliers and costs. Consumer reviews have repeatedly reported inconsistent freshness and premature spoilage concerns associated with Great Value Milk. Walmart is not violating any laws, and regional sourcing differences can naturally create variation between stores. The larger issue is the ownership structure. Private label products exist primarily to maximize margin and retailer loyalty. That creates intense pressure on processors to hit aggressive price targets, often affecting the final product consistency. Longtime customers frequently describe thin texture, inconsistent taste, and milk souring before the printed date. For older consumers who grew up trusting expiration labels, that matters. Reliability expectations are beginning to fail. When the cheapest milk repeatedly fails, customers realize they were paying for distribution efficiency, not dairy quality. Number 4 is Horizon Organic, now owned by global food giant Danone after beginning as an organic pioneer. Horizon helped introduce millions of families to organic milk, but critics have questioned if they still reflect small farming standards. According to ratings from independent watchdogs, some question if premium prices match the scale of their operations. The company disputes broader criticisms and maintains full compliance with all USDA organic regulations. This is where the regulatory gap becomes visible. Organic certification does not automatically mean small herds or local sourcing. Advocacy groups have repeatedly debated how industrial-scale organic dairy should operate under federal standards. Many consumers still associate the brand with family farming from decades ago. That gap between perception and ownership is significant, especially for parents paying higher prices, believing they are supporting a fundamentally different system than conventional dairy. Number 3 is Fairlife, the ultra-filtered milk brand acquired fully by Coca-Cola after rapid expansion. Fairlife surpassed $1 billion in annual sales by positioning milk as a performance product rather than a traditional staple. Nutritionally, the product offers higher protein and lower sugar through filtration. Many consumers genuinely prefer the texture. But documented undercover footage released in 2019 showed alleged animal abuse at supplier farms connected to Fairlife. The company stated those relationships were terminated and announced expanded animal welfare oversight measures afterward. A 2022 class action settlement referenced concerns surrounding certain marketing claims related to animal welfare practices. Fairlife transformed from a dairy brand into a high-margin corporate growth engine. oversight becomes harder to maintain. Loyal customers suddenly had to ask whether premium nutrition justified the ethical uncertainty surrounding the supply chain. The milk brands that actually earned consumer trust are coming up next. Subscribe and stay with us. This is the brand truth. Number 2 is Organic Valley, a farmer-owned cooperative founded by small Wisconsin dairy farmers. That ownership structure changes incentives. Instead of outside shareholders, the model ties quality to farmer sustainability. According to independent ratings, Organic Valley consistently ranks highly for pasture access and animal welfare practices. The texture reflects that slower production philosophy. Consumers frequently describe the milk as richer, creamier, and closer to traditional dairy. Unlike several industrial competitors, Organic Valley openly emphasizes cooperative governance and farm-level accountability. The company is not perfect, and premium pricing places it out of reach for some. But the structure creates better alignment. For consumers frustrated by corporate dairy shortcuts, that distinction becomes difficult to ignore. Number 1 is Stonyfield Organic, one of the earliest American organic dairy pioneers before joining the Lactalis network. Transparency matters here. The company now operates under multinational ownership, but they have maintained high standards. According to independent reviews and consistent testing, Stonyfield has largely maintained the quality that built its reputation. The difference appears in both oversight and consistency. Stonyfield continues emphasizing organic sourcing and pasture-based practices. Consumers regularly describe the milk as balanced, creamy, and notably clean in flavor without mass-market thinness. More importantly, the company has avoided many of the large-scale ethical controversies surrounding faster-growth competitors. For longtime milk drinkers who want a dependable product that aligns with the values on the carton, Stonyfield remains a clear example. From now on, there are 3 things you should always check before buying any milk. First, look beyond the front label and identify who actually owns the brand. Ownership changes often happen quietly. Product priorities can change dramatically afterward. A carton designed to look local may belong to a multinational food conglomerate. Second, check whether the milk lists ultra-pasteurization or extended shelf processing. It improves shipping efficiency. But many report noticeable texture and flavor differences. It is simply a production decision you deserve to recognize. Third, pay attention to consistency across purchases. Freshness problems or unusual separation often reveal more than advertising. The most useful skill in grocery shopping is pattern recognition. Once you notice recurring problems, stop assuming the issue is random. Large food systems leave trails. Consumers who learn to recognize those patterns stop shopping emotionally and start shopping intentionally. This story was never really about milk. It was about trust, about how modern corporations spend billions building emotional relationships, while ownership structures, sourcing systems, and operational incentives quietly evolve behind the packaging. Most people are not reading inspection reports before breakfast. They are relying on decades of habit and assumption. That is exactly why these investigations matter. If someone in your family still buys a brand by habit, send them this video. Especially those who believe the label automatically reflects the farm behind it. At the brand truth, the label is never the whole story.